welcome to the Yankees post-game report, which is brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. Test drive this full line of quality cars from Hyundai. Hyundai, cars that make sense. In front of a huge crowd of over 47,000, the Yankees sweep the Detroit Tigers 7-0, out-hitting them 10-3. Jim Abbott, win number 5. David Wells is now 9-3. And we welcome you back to our MSG studios. I'm Al Trautwig. Michael Kay will join us in a matter of moments and talk about what has to go down as one of the great visits to the mound by any pitching coach at any time. To start this game, Jim Abbott just couldn't find home plate. As a matter of fact, he walked Tony Phillips and Dan Gladden, and both of those were very free passes. Tony Cloninger went to the mound, and from the rest of that point on, Jim Abbott was a totally different pitcher. To say he settled in is a complete understatement, as the Yankees get 2 big swings that provide much more than they needed today. Now we'll take a look at the Hyundai highlights from today's Yankee victory and take you back to the beginning. Great day for families to be at the ballpark, and for some, a very first Yankee game. No score in the third, bases loaded, and Mike Stanley clears them all. A 415-foot grand slam home run off of David Wells. It is the 4th time that Stanley has cleared the bases in his career. 4-zip heading to the bottom of the 5th, when Danny Tartabull launches an absolute laser to left. With Don Mattingly aboard, it was a 2-run home run. Great catch out there. It would become a souvenir for Dad's little boy. Tartabull's 11th home run. The Yankees facing their 12th consecutive left-hander at the stadium, and as the previous 11 had, David Wells would fall to the same fate. The Yankees have now beaten 11 straight left-handers here at the stadium. Yes, David Wells, you would go down. The Yankees had a pretty good left-hander out there too, Jim Abbott, after settling down, striking out Fryman with a slider. Getting Cecil Fielder 1 of 2 times in the game. Mickey Tettleton, see ya, and Rob Deere with the change. 7 strikeouts for Abbott in 8 innings as the Yankees go on to watch Paul Gibson close it out. Buck Showalter collecting his thoughts with Jim Abbott watching win number 5 go up on the board. The dime performer of the game, the man we've already spoken to in our studio here, Mike Stanley. Grand slam number 4, average well over 300. He is one of the bright spots in this season, no doubt about it. He got all of that one. And this huge crowd rose to its feet, and the Yankees cruise to victory. Michael Kay joins me in a moment. The Yankees post-game report is brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Well, the stands are empty now, but they were very much alive. Michael Kay joining me just out of the Yankee clubhouse, which I got a little taste of. It was a great place to be. But I talked a few minutes ago, Mike, about one of the great visits to the mound ever by a pitching coach. That was Tony Cloninger back in the 1st inning. When everyone was getting a little uneasy, what did Tony say to Jim Abbott?
Well, what Tony said was that Jim was really pumped up because of the crowd. You know, Jim still has a little bit of a little kid in him. And right now what Tony's coming to say is, listen, you're too pumped up. Let's not worry about anything. He says you're up in the zone, you're rushing, you're out in front. So what we want you to do, and this is pretty simple stuff if you think about it, if the catcher has his target regular and then Jim Abbott is too high when he delivers the pitch, what Tony Cloninger said was, you aim for a lower zone. So he told Mike Stanley, you set up lower, so then if he's high in the zone, it's for a strike rather than a high ball. So simple stuff, but you've got to be able to pick it out. And what Cloninger said, too, he said that Abbott is very coachable. You can come out and tell certain pitchers that, and they won't know how to correct it. But Abbott worked beautifully after that. He just settled down. So give an assist to Cloninger.
Absolutely. Subtle, but a very major contribution. Now, you got some great things from Mike Gallego. He's feeling rather good inside, I gather.
Everybody in that clubhouse is, but what Gallego said was, you know, how can you not feel great about what's happening here? So there's a certain feeling in this clubhouse, and he compared it to the feeling in the Oakland A's clubhouse. He said, especially coming off this road trip, disappointing, we come here and we sweep the Tigers. He said the difference between this year's team and last year's team is that this year you lose a game, okay, let's win again. He said last year we lose a game, it was how many games are we going to lose in a row? He said we go out on the field every single day now thinking we're going to win, every day. And then he said, you know, I'm standing here talking about it, and Gallego's not a guy who's up for hyperbole. He said, I got chills down my back thinking about the crowd, thinking about what this could all mean. He said, I've just learned that New York crowds could really carry you. In the 8th or 9th inning, they are our added man. He said, but I've also learned that you better win. He said, because if you don't win, they'll get on you, too. He said, they can really be a plus for you. And he says, everybody's trying to downplay that angle. He said, but every single night, Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday, it got better and better and better. They became more of a factor.
And Mike also told me a moment ago, Jimmy Leyritz, with very localized pain in his injured hand, is headed to have a CAT scan, so that is potentially bad news for the Yankees on a very upbeat day. 7-0, the Yankees win today. Nice day for Jim Abbott, big day for Tony Cloninger, Danny Tartabull, Mike Stanley. The Yankees have now won 10 of their last 11 here at the stadium, so they've got that good home feeling. But they'll take to the road after sweeping the Tigers here in front of a near-packed house in the Bronx. Guests receive a silk baseball jacket courtesy of Robert Stock. Robert Stock sand-washed silk. What are you waiting for? Or the new Konica Big Mini Zoom with built-in 35 wide-angle to 70mm close-up telephoto zoom lens. Plus, Konica's color print film, the right film for the right shot. Promotional consideration given to the Regency Hotel, located on Park Avenue at 61st Street, offering exceptional service and accommodations. Next stop for the Yankees, Oakland, California. Our coverage begins at 10:30 Friday when the Yankees take on the A's, beginning a 10-game Western swing. There is not a bigger thing that a hitter can do in this game with one swing of the bat than what Mike Stanley did. With the bases full, he launched it to Death Valley. Then Danny Tartabull with a rocket over the left field wall. And then the pitching of Jim Abbott. It all spelled success for the Yankees today. They're on a roll, heading west.